It's time for the hard-hitting stuff. It is time for a president tier list. It is time for me to piss everyone off. All right. I say we just get into it. Let's just do it, shall we? George Washington is low-key a B tier. I mean, George Washington was the first president of the United States. He's on the one, which is, kind of fitting. He was the first one to kind of establish a lot of the things that we have now. He also was one of the few presidents who did not have teeth. He actually had wooden teeth, which is fascinating. But in terms of his policy, I would say that he didn't want to interact with other countries. He wasn't really a fan of interacting with, other countries. And he didn't want the U.S. to get involved in world affairs. And I think for that alone, he was 100% correct. And so that's why I think that he deserves B. John Adams is a D. He literally did not do anything with his presidency. Absolutely nothing. He did nothing with it. He just sat there and ate food. That was literally it. Thomas Jefferson, again, a B. Hold on. Trying to find everyone's biggest accomplishment just so that it's easier for me to rank them. Ooh. Bet. Okay. All right. So, Thomas Jefferson. The thing about him, he wrote the Declaration of Independence, and he also wrote the Constitution. He's the father of the Constitution. All right. The fourth president, James Madison. Oh, I didn't know this. He was actually the chief author of the Constitution and one of only the two presidents to sign it. The other was George Washington. So I think due to that fact, gotta put him in B tier. James Monroe. Let's see what his accomplishments were. He was the first president to introduce foreign policy. So just due to that fact, I got to put him in C tier because he ruined everything for us. President number 6, I already know this one, John Quincy Adams, and I'm going to put him in the same spot as his father, Andrew Jackson. F. Man was racist as shit and was literally one of the most terrible presidents of all time. All right. Next up is Martin Van Buren. He was he was the only president to have his daughter his daughter-in-law serve as first lady after his wife passed, and he had a gang formed in his honor on Seinfeld, the Van Buren boys. He sounded like a total gangster, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. Next is William Henry Harrison. I literally know nothing about him. I just know his name. Oh, he passed 1 month into his he passed 1 month into his presidency. All right, then fuck him. He goes into F tier. John Tyler is the 10th president of the United States. Let's see what he did. The first president to serve without being elected, President Tyler worked for the annexation of Texas to the United States, and with a strong belief in states' rights, caused major rifts through all political parties. So basically, he got Texas, the great state of Texas. I'll put him in B. James K. Polk. What did President Polk do? He extended the U.S. by 1.2 million square miles. Well, I'm not really one for nation building, but at the time, the U.S. wasn't really nation building yet. So I'll put him in C. He can be above Van Buren. Yo, people complain about the fact that now everyone that we've had for president are old white men. Motherfucker, they were all old white men. Like, what? Zachary Taylor, the 12th president of the United States. He was the hero of the Mexican-American War. He won the presidency because Northerners voted for him because of war heroism, and Southerners did so because he was a fellow slave owner. Oh, nice. Okay. D, I guess. All right. What did Millard Fillmore accomplish? The Compromise of 1850. Oh, that was when that was when, like, it was up to the states whether they were going to keep slavery or not. This man kept slavery around. Fuck him. Franklin Pierce was the 14th president of the United States. All right, let's see what he was up to. Yeah, nah, he basically started the Civil War. I'm gonna put him in F tier. I didn't even know that there was. I could have sworn that it went Pierce and then Lincoln. I didn't know that James Buchanan was actually like president before. The last president before the Civil War, President Buchanan served without a wife and had an eagle as a pet. Okay. D, I guess. We already know Lincoln is an S tier. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. This man... Oh, sorry. No. A. FDR's an S tier. This man was able to end the Civil War and was able to free the slaves when they said that it would not be able to be done, that you can only get one or the other. But this gangster got both because President Lincoln was a fucking badass, and he finessed the Confederates. But I mean, it wasn't really that hard to do. Did anyone see any of their faces? And I believe that Andrew Johnson was after him, and Andrew Johnson was an F simply because he did not keep Reconstruction a thing. Ulysses Grant, a Union war hero. President Grant helped establish the national park system. Shout out to Roland. He would love this. As well as pushing forward the 15th Amendment while fighting for the rights of Native Americans and African Americans. Oh, so he was based. Bet. All right, cool. Well, due to that fact, I'll put him in B. Sorry, Washington. But Ulysses Grant goes in B tier above you. All right. The 19th president was Rutherford B. Hayes. He did not serve alcohol at the White House, Major L. He was the first to host the Easter egg roll, which continues today. And in his single term, dedicated his efforts to fighting to improve the government after the Civil War and protect the rights of people of all races. There we are. All right, not so bad. I'll put him in B tier. I'll put him like in the middle. He's like mid. He's like mid B. All right. James Garfield. Why have I heard this name before? What did he do? Second of 3 presidents to serve in 1881. President Garfield was shot 200 days into his term and died a few months later from complications, but not before he left his mark with efforts to end political corruption. Ooh, end political corruption. My man was out here trying to end corruption. Word. He can be an A tier for that. All right. Chester A. Arthur. They're all old and white. Like, all right. An unexpected leader by proxy. President Arthur helped to fund the Navy, which had been in decline, working for funding for Native American education based. Reportedly had 80 pairs of pants and held the nickname Elegant Arthur because of his desire to change outfits for every occasion. That's wild. Okay. All right. Due to the Native American education part, I'm going to put him in extremely high B above Julius Grant. Grover Cleveland is the 22nd and 24th President of the United States. All right. What did he do? He struggled to unite the country after the Panic of 1893. Okay. All right. It sounds like he was kind of an L, so I just put him down here. Benjamin Harrison. I've heard this name before. Grandson of the former President Harrison. This President Harrison welcomed Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Washington, Idaho, and Wyoming to the U.S. while being the first president to live in the White House with electricity. Ooh, okay. All right, then. He can be in B. That's fine. All right. William McKinley. President through the Spanish-American War, President McKinley led the U.S. as it assumed recognition as a world power while making significant efforts to rebuild the economy. Oh, word? All right. Put him in C tier. Theodore Roosevelt is already in A tier. This man is a progressive champion, Brody. This man is a legend. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Hold on. Known as the truest buster, President Roosevelt worked to make American life better for all, won a Nobel Peace Prize, and was the first president to leave the country while in office to visit the Panama Canal. He also fought for healthcare for all people and education for all people. I just know that one. William Howard Taft established a federal tax through the 16th Amendment, was the first president to reign over the continuous 48 states, get stuck in a White House bathtub, and began the tradition of throwing out the first pitch at an MLB game. This man got stuck in a bathtub? Actually, you know what? Kind of same. But even so, low key, kind of a fat L. Woodrow Wilson. In office during World War I and winner of a Nobel Peace Prize for his work to form the League of Nations, President Wilson was also printed on the $100,000 bill. That's some wild ass shit. I didn't even know that we had a $100,000 bill. It's got to put him at least in the C tier. Warren G. Harding. We're getting close to ranting time. Warren G. Harding, first president to be elected after the 19th Amendment and owner of size 19 feet. President Harding's tenure was tainted by scandals caused by friends that he appointed to office. Oh, so he was corrupt. Nice. Okay. All right, then. F tier for him. Fuck him. Calvin Coolidge. I've heard this name too. Nothing good. President Coolidge signed the Indian Citizenship Act, which gave U.S. citizen rights to all Native Americans in the midst of the Roaring '20s, and is the only president to be born on Independence Day. How cool is that? This man is an A tier. I don't care. Calvin Coolidge is based as shit. That's some based ass shit. I don't even need to look at the list now. I can just tell you shit. Herbert Hoover, F tier, trickle down does not work. My guy is a gangster. FDR is so gangster, he gets his own tier. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. What can be said that has not already been said? This man invented Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, the Social Safety Net, Glass-Steagall, which helped to protect Americans from being screwed out of money by banks. He signed the New Deal, which basically said, if you work, the government will be here to help you to do the rest. FDR ushered in a new political era, and FDR won 4 times. 4 times. He's the only president ever to have 90% party control in the Congress and in the courts and in all of the national and local governance. FDR never got below 77% of the popular vote. Presidents now don't even get the 54% of the vote. FDR was a gangster. FDR said, I welcome their hatred, talking about the Supreme Court. FDR, yes, did some illegal shit. But if you talk to people who were, alive back in Roosevelt's day, they'll say, he helped me. My life was pretty damn good when FDR was president. I don't know, man. I mean, life was pretty good. I can't even hate. See, when someone is not corrupt, Roosevelt shows what being a real person and a real president can actually do. He took after his cousin very, very well. You see, progressivism works. It works. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Truman, cheeks. But he did do one good thing in Brown versus the Board of Education. I think that was him. I'm pretty sure that was him. I'm like 90% sure that was him. Was it? Eisenhower's based. He created a permanent civil rights office in the Department of Justice. He can go in B tier. No, actually, I'll put him in A tier. He's pretty damn good. JFK goes into A tier. He signed the Civil Rights Act, which basically ended segregation. I will put him next to right there. I'll put him right there. LBJ goes exactly next to JFK. He signed the Voting Rights Act. So there we are. Richard Nixon. Well, according to him, he's not a crook. But he can go in an extremely high D tier. Gerald Ford is... Hold on a second. All right. Gerald Ford, F. Jimmy Carter, based off of intentions, would get an A tier, but because he was sabotaged, I'll give him a C. They didn't let him do anything that he wanted to do. Ronald Reagan allowed the corporations to take over the country again. He was a badass. He ended the Cold War. He basically bragged about the fact that the Berlin Wall got taken down. That was basically due to him. You know what? I'll be kind. Extremely low C. George H.W. Bush can fuck off. Bill Clinton, high F. He is, I think, solely he is responsible for all the problems that we have now. He got rid of Glass-Steagall. Mans is allowing the corporations to just rule everything. He was just so cool with it, and that's the shit that bothers me. So, yeah. Homie gets F tier. George W. Bush, the Iraq War, NSA spying, tax cuts for the wealthy. Need I say anything more? Barack Obama. See, here's the thing. Obama had a chance to really do some good, but he didn't. Obama just kept the status quo going. Obama also voted for the Iraq War. Obama also didn't pull out of the Iraq War, but he also got bin Laden. He got the Iran deal. He got the Paris Climate Accord. He did some decent things. I'm not going to say that he didn't. See, this is a hard one here because he also gave us Obamacare, but it was a Republican health care plan. So, but he didn't actively do that much harm to the country like these guys did. So, I'm going to be kind. I'm going to put him in like mid-C. Donald Trump. Let's see. The First Step Act. That was good. I'm trying to be kind. He ended NAFTA, I guess, but then passed through NAFTA 2.0, which is basically the same thing. Shit. Okay. I just don't know whether he's going to go in D or F because his deal with the Saudis pisses me off. But I didn't give Obama lower than a C, even though he was the one that started that whole thing with the Saudis. But Trump claims to be America first. See, that's the issue. I'm going to be kind and I'm going to give him extremely low D tier. Extremely low D tier. Only because I think that the First Step Act was something that was positive for the country, but his tax cuts did not benefit a single soul except for his pals. And I can't really rank President Biden, but if I were to rank the last 2 years, I'd put him above Nixon. He would just be in D tier. He's just been the most average president of all time. So this is officially my official president tier. You guys have any comments or you want to chime in and say who your favorite is, make sure to comment, and also make sure to like, subscribe, share, and make sure to hit that bell for all of the notifications. Thank you guys for watching, and I love y'all extremely, and peace out.